The following program is paid for by the Southern California Rapid Transit District and in part by the following companies that share RTD's concern about transit and the environment. Universal Studios Hollywood, where you'll live the movies. The Gas Company, glad to be of service. And Longo Toyota Lexus, the world's largest dealer. Hello, I'm Joseph Bendy. Welcome to a special edition of Transit 2000. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest host for this program, Nichelle Nichols. Welcome, Nichelle.
Thank you, Joseph. You know, as Uhura of Star Trek, I faced a lot of challenges in a high-tech universe of the future. But today, here on Earth, we face some very real threats to our environment and quality of life. But fortunately, there are some promising answers.
I know some of you may think this does look like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise, but in fact it has a much more down-to-earth importance.
That's right. This is RTD's Rail Central Control Center, an electronic hub of Southern California's emerging transportation system.
In the first of a two-part Transit 2000 special report, I'm going to give you a glimpse of Los Angeles' mass transit future. It's here today, in Toronto, Canada. Recently, I took a mass transit tour of the city that some see as a model for Southern California's 21st century transportation system. Most transportation experts consider mass transit as the wave of the future, but don't count the automobile out yet. Electronically controlled highways and a new generation of smart cars are on the way and coming fast. And for today or the 21st century, getting around safely in a clean and comfortable environment is essential to the success of any transportation system. This is the major responsibility of the RTD's Transit Police. We'll meet some of the men and women who are making our mass transit experience better than ever. All this and a lot more on Transit 2000.
Say, you haven't been to Universal Studios for a while, have you?
Universal Studios? No, I guess I haven't had a lot of free time lately.
Well, you won't believe how much has changed. There's the E.T. Adventure, the new Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, the new Beetlejuice Graveyard Review, and now Backdraft surrounds you with 10,000 degrees of excitement. So, you think you'd like to see it in person?
Absolutely. How about right now? Yeah!
The new Universal Studios Hollywood. If you haven't been lately, you haven't been.
E.T.
Clearing the air. All of us at the gas company are working to make it happen. You see, the gas you cook with and heat with is the same natural gas that can drive pollution away. That's because it's the cleanest burning of all conventional fuels. So let's use it wisely. Its abundant supply will help us all down the road. For help and how-tos, call on us, the gas company. Glad to be of service.
This is Ed Begley Jr. asking for your help. Let's clean up LA.
Some urban planners see this as an image of the transportation future of Los Angeles. It's Toronto, Canada. Yes, Toronto. In fact, the two cities have much in common. But what makes Toronto different is an efficiently integrated system of buses, trolleys, subways, and commuter trains, serving a city that's called North America's mass transit showplace. The chief manager of the Toronto Transit Commission, or TTC, is Alan Leach.
The transit system is the backbone of this community, and I've been often quoted by saying that this city only works as well as its transit system. We carry between 1,400,000 and 1,600,000 people every day. That's about half the community. Everybody in this city rides transit.
In 1954, with a single 4.5-mile subway line, Toronto's TTC stood where Los Angeles does today. The subway was an instant success, and over the years continued to grow, transforming the city. In 1967, Toronto reached out to its emerging Southern California-style suburbs with a commuter rail system called GO Transit. If the GO trains look familiar, they are. The same double-deckers are used for Los Angeles' new Metrolink. From the beginning, all this was integrated with an extensive bus and light rail streetcar system.
Probably the first thing a visitor notices about the Toronto transit system is how clean it is and convenient. During the rush hour, for example, these trains are scheduled to arrive every 2.5 minutes.
The Chief General Manager of Administration and Planning for the TTC is Dr. Yuri Pill.
The Metropolitan Toronto is looked at as the livable city. It has been characterized by, I guess it was Peter Ustinov, as New York run by the Swiss. Toronto works to a great extent because so many people use transit. The bus system, the streetcars, the subway, the trolley coaches are all part of one system, so that we try to make it as convenient as possible for the buses to bring people to the subway. The subway is the backbone of our system. We try to get as many people onto it as possible, and then have all the parts working together. And for instance, at our stations, we don't have turnstiles or barriers for the people getting off the buses going onto the subway. We also work as closely as possible with the commuter rail system, that is, have points where the two interchange.
A single ticket costing the equivalent of roughly $1.50 American gives you access to the entire Metropolitan Toronto transit system, covering 240 square miles. It's not inexpensive, but about average for North America. Even so, keeping passengers happy and the system on track and on time is a big job.
Good afternoon, Transit Control Center.
This is Toronto's Transit Control Center. It's the heart of the city's subway system. Here, all of the cars on the line are monitored and controlled as they move through the city's 66 subway stations.
A sophisticated electronics, communications, and control system links the men and women in this room to every train in the system, keeping track of arrivals and departures. Operators can be instructed to adjust speed when necessary to maintain on-time schedules. Centralized communications also maximize response time in case of accidents or emergencies. The most state-of-the-art element of the Toronto system is the city's Scarborough line. Here, trains are totally automated, monitored by trackside computers, and operated by remote control. There is an onboard human operator, but only for backup and emergencies. Shane McShane is Transit Control Services Supervisor.
You've got a little cursor, it looks like a cursor moving along. It indicates a train. It tells us how many cars are involved, whether the doors are opened and closed. It tells us the speed, the braking, any problems on the train is actually relayed back to us. It will automatically regulate all the headways without anybody having to do anything.
Toronto's buses are vital links in the citywide system, and they have communication centers of their own, combining roadside sensors, onboard telephones, and computer consoles. Joseph Simchek is a Toronto Communications Information System, or CIS, manager.
When a bus passes a certain location called a signpost, and there are about 300 or 400 signposts or more throughout the whole city, when the bus passes a signpost, a low-level microwave is emitted. It is picked up by the bus and read. We know the status of that bus, whether it's stationary servicing a stop, whether the doors are closed and it's continuing on in service, whether there are other buses close by. They are supplying information to the CIS control center here in regards to how the line is running in order to provide a better service for the riding public.
The Toronto system is impressive, but not without problems. A reflection of the TTC's success is the fact that 68% of its revenues come from the fare box. But the economic turndown of the past few years has reduced ridership, and fewer paying passengers threaten to create a downward spiral of declining service and stagnant growth. Also, even in this showplace of mass transit, the automobile has far from disappeared. Despite a sagging economy, declining ridership, and the temptations of the ever-present automobile, the Government of Ontario, anticipating continued urban growth, has committed to a 20-year, $8 to $9 billion expansion plan that will double the city's existing transit system.
As a rule of thumb, a bus system will carry 6,000 to 7,000 people an hour. A streetcar trolley system will carry up to about 15,000. The light rail systems that we have will carry maybe 20,000. Subway carries 40,000. So we want to make sure that we have capacity built into the system to carry maximum demand. It's an expensive proposition going in, but the paybacks over time to the community are so great that I don't think you can afford not to build it.
This may be well and good for Toronto, but is it really possible to make such a system work in car-loving Southern California?
You are, in fact, spending far more money on transit at this point in time, even per capita, than Toronto is. We built our system back over the last 3 decades, and Los Angeles is starting now. I think you have some great opportunities there to achieve what we have. And maybe 20 or 30 years from now, there'll be someone from Toronto going down to Los Angeles and interviewing them as to how they achieved their remarkable success. That's my hope.
Building a fast, efficient, and integrated transportation system takes money, time, and commitment. Los Angeles has just begun to develop its mass transportation system for the 21st century. Toronto has offered us some intriguing glimpses of the shape of things to come.
The old slogan, "Leave the driving to us," is about to take on an incredible new meaning. Stay tuned.
Pactel introduces the longest uninterrupted cellular coverage in California.
Hi, honey. Just leaving.
All the way from San Luis Obispo to San Diego.
Yeah, I miss you too.
With no roaming rates.
Oh, can't wait to see you.
You could save up to 35% over previous rates when you roam.
Where am I now? Look out your window.
Money we're sure you can put to better use. Pactel Cellular.
Driving to work alone. About 5 million people. Every day. In 5 million cars. By sharing the ride, just 1 day a week, we get about 1 million cars off the road and get to work about 50% faster. Join Team Rideshare. Share the ride once a week.
Hi, I'm Nichelle Nichols. It's hard to be commuting around the universe in the Starship Enterprise, but believe it or not, Star Trek-style technology is in the works for the family car, along with high-tech electronic help for combating 1990s traffic congestion. If you were ever stuck in a Santa Monica freeway traffic jam during the past 2 years, you might have seen one of 25 white Oldsmobiles like this. In a way, these cars were visitors from the future, part of a recently completed experiment in high-tech transportation. They were pioneers in a nationwide research and development program designed to explore intelligent vehicle highway systems, or IVHS. The biggest secret weapon against traffic congestion is information. The more we know, the more we can apply controls to manage traffic conditions and avoid gridlock. Electronic sensors keeping track of traffic flow are a start. Basic information and control systems like changeable message signs, remote control TV cameras, and ramp meters add to the information control system. In Southern California, this information is collected in 2 major traffic management centers, the Los Angeles Automated Traffic Control and Surveillance Center, or ATSAC. ATSAC regulates and coordinates surface street signals, and the Caltrans Semi-Automatic Traffic Management Systems, or SATMs. SATMs monitors freeways. Caltrans Deputy Director of Operations in Los Angeles is Chuck O'Connell.
The Traffic Operations Center has evolved over the last 15, 18 years, and it's tied in with an infrastructure that we have in the field, on all the freeways, for example. We have over 900 locations where we have loop detectors or sensors built into the pavement, and we have something in the order of 12,000 sensors throughout a 400-mile stretch of freeways. That information is continually brought into our traffic operations center 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Coordinating this information for the benefit of individual drivers of tomorrow was the goal of an intelligent vehicle highway system experiment called Pathfinder. Jeff Namba was a Pathfinder project coordinator for Caltrans.
Pathfinder was the first intelligent vehicle highway systems project of its kind to be tested in the country. It's a cooperative effort between Caltrans, the Federal Highway Administration, and General Motors. Each of the 25 project cars had an ETAC navigational device which operates sort of like an electric Thomas Brothers guide, if you will. And it also received traffic information from the operations center here.
Pathfinder was centered on a 14-mile stretch of the Santa Monica Freeway, America's first smart corridor for a new generation of smart cars. The heart of it all is this computer workstation. The Pathfinder workstation receives traffic information from a number of different sources and uses this information to compile a list of congested locations. Data from detectors on arterial streets are transmitted to the ADSAC Central and then by direct line to the Pathfinder workstation at Caltrans. Freeway data are collected at the Caltrans Traffic Operations Center and sent to the Pathfinder workstation at the same location. The congestion data, additional incident details, and Pathfinder-generated data are fused together to provide a measure of congestion for each link in the network. Locations of the congested areas are transmitted to the vehicle, and once each minute the vehicle's position, heading, and speed are transmitted back to the central computer as additional input on traffic congestion. A computer-type monitor mounted on the dashboard displays maps of the area. You tell the system where you want to go, and a computer located in the trunk generates maps. The map shows where the car is and where it's going. As the vehicle moves, the map adjusts to show where you are as you drive. Maps can be set to show a broad overview of the entire metropolitan area or the streets of a specific neighborhood. As you drive, a separate computer in your car analyzes congestion data and passes on the latest traffic information in 3 ways: as symbols on the electronic map, as printed words on the monitor, and as a spoken message using a computer-generated voice. It's like having the ultimate backseat driver. It may not be the Enterprise, but our relationship with our car is becoming more personal every day. In fact, sooner than you think. You can drive a smart car today. Just take a trip to Orlando, Florida. Here, a smart car project called TravTech is as close as an airport rent-a-car office. Inside a specially equipped vehicle, a computer co-pilot is standing by. You may be a stranger to Orlando, but when it comes to getting around town, TravTech knows more than most natives. Sensors in the car and a satellite tracking system pinpoint your car's location to within 100 feet anywhere in a 5-county area around Orlando. You tell the computer where you want to go, and TravTech automatically selects the quickest, most direct route to your destination. Navigation and information systems like TravTech are only part of the Intelligent Vehicle Highway System research. Work is going on to allow cars to sense and control proper spacing in traffic, and sophisticated heads-up displays like those used by fighter pilots are being evaluated to keep drivers' eyes on the road as they receive display information.
Most experts agree that smart cars are on the way. Now all we need are smart drivers to support other environmentally conscious alternatives, and transportation in Southern California could really take off in the 21st century.
Making your transit trip better than ever. On the job with the RTD's Transit Police, next.
My parents think riding in a teacup is hot. Mom, Dad, say hello to her. Wow! She's really getting into it. Excellent. Watch out!
Backdraft. 10,000 degrees of fun. Roaring to life at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Pretty cool, huh, Dad?
Oh, yeah. Darryl Strawberry can hit and field. He weighs 200 pounds and can turn or stop on a dime. The new Metro Blue Line weighs over 100 tons, and it can't stop on a dime. You need to be careful around something so powerful. Never try to beat the Blue Line to a crossing or drive around warning barriers. It's no game. So don't play around with the Metro Blue Line, because one hit and it's over.
This is Susan Rattan asking for your help. Let's clean up LA.
Every day, the RTD's buses and trains carry more than 1 million passengers. Making those trips pleasant and secure is the major mission of the RTD's Transit Police.
Chief of Police is Sharon Papa.
In law enforcement, most police officers like to focus on the major felonies, and they want to take the big gangsters to jail, so to speak. Here we will focus on quality of life, to take care of the people who are smoking, eating, drinking. It may seem like a minor offense, but to a passenger, if they get on board a bus and people have their feet up on the seats and they're smoking cigarettes and they're playing loud radios, the perception is things are out of control, this isn't a safe environment, I don't want to ride this. So our officers understand that, and they're going to be out there enforcing that.
As fully trained and armed as any law enforcement agency, the RTD Transit Police face some unique challenges. Patrolling the new Red Line subway means applying law enforcement to a totally new Southern California transit environment. A constant problem is vandalism and graffiti. Buses are tempting billboards for the work of graffiti vandals called taggers. Far from an innocent prank, tagging costs Southern Californians more than $1 million a month. The Transit Police are hitting back with a special undercover detail, the Graffiti Habitual Offender Suppression Team, or GHOST. His identity hidden, a GHOST officer has a message for taggers.
With the graffiti task force, there could be officers on the bus at any time. We don't let everybody know when we've made an arrest. When we take somebody off the bus for vandalism, we don't want to burn, that's the word we use, our cover. We don't want people to know who we are for the next time, so we do it very quietly and discreetly. A lot of times even the bus drivers don't even know who we are. Just because you don't see us doesn't mean that we're not there.
The RTD Transit Police emphasis on quality of life issues is evident in everyday services, from helping with a lost child to operating a foot patrol substation in the heart of a major downtown Los Angeles transit corridor. This is RTD's Mob Squad substation. Sergeant Leticia Delgado is in charge.
MOB, which stands for Miracle on Broadway, is a footbeat detail, and it consists of 9 officers. Our boundaries are normally from 3rd Street to 9th Street, and our main function is to do that, to walk the footbeat. We also ride the buses. In walking the footbeat, we contact merchants, we contact bus patrons, we contact bus operators. We want them to know that we're here to assist and to help. We want them to have a sense of security. We want them to know that we're here.
Is it working? Director of the Miracle on Broadway Merchants and Property Owners is Estela Lopez. She has the last word.
Since they have been on the street, believe me, the presence
of that uniform has meant a great deal. It has given this community a sense that the transit operator, the RTD, really cares not just about the movement of people, but also about how those people feel about being a bus customer, about how they feel about the quality of service that the RTD gives them. Makes them feel that it's more than just getting on the bus that RTD is concerned about, but the whole riding experience.
Transit 2000 will be back after these messages.
Clearing the air. All of us at the gas company are working to make it happen. You see, the gas you cook with and heat with is the same natural gas that can drive pollution away. That's because it's the cleanest burning of all conventional fuels. So let's use it wisely. Its abundant supply will help us all down the road. For help and how-tos, call on us, the gas company. Glad to be of service.
Driving to work alone. About 5 million people. Every day. In 5 million cars. By sharing the ride, just 1 day a week, we get about 1 million cars off the road and get to work about 50% faster. Join Team Rideshare. Share the ride once a week.
You know, Joseph, I've truly enjoyed this opportunity to see the real future of transportation in the making.
I've enjoyed it too, Nichelle. I think you're really going to like the next edition of Transit 2000. We're going back to Toronto, Canada, to see what it takes to keep commuters satisfied in North America's mass transit showplace. And we'll also introduce you to the new Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transit Authority on the next edition of Transit 2000.
Well, beam us up, RTD. Ready?
We're ready. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The RTD would like to thank the following sponsors who have helped make this program possible. Universal Studios Hollywood, where you'll live the movies. The Gas Company, glad to be of service. And Longo Toyota Lexus, the world's largest dealer. The preceding program was paid for by the Southern California Rapid Transit District.